Hello everyone and welcome back to Football Forecast, and this is the Chelsea-Liverpool review. Chelsea have won the game late on, deeply disappointing as a Liverpool fan. I'm going to go through what went wrong, where we need to improve, and why Chelsea, I think, won today. If you enjoy this video, it'd be great if you could head over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. So I actually thought Liverpool were alright in the first 10 minutes of this game. I thought we looked like we were threatening a bit, so that was good to see. But obviously that Caicedo goal did change the game, and it was an unbelievable strike. But I am going to criticise Liverpool here. First of all, the midfield, McAllister just seems off it throughout the game. It's so unfortunate because on his day, and last season, McAllister was one of the best midfielders in the league. There's no doubt about this. And he just gets done by Caicedo, as well as Szoboszlai and Gravenberch are too far up the pitch. I don't think that is necessarily their fault. I think that's just what was happening in the play, and McAllister has to do better there. He can't just let Caicedo roll him, which is what he does, and then Van Dijk and Konate just back off, and then Caicedo just hits it from outside the box and scores an incredible goal. There's no doubt about this. Were Van Dijk and Konate at fault here? Well, everyone's going to say Van Dijk should have gone out to the ball. We know that's not what Van Dijk likes to do. Van Dijk was too busy marking the attacker. In some ways, I think fine. I've blamed the midfield more. The midfield has to do better. Your DM shouldn't be able to have that much space, and that's who I would blame, not Van Dijk and Konate, even though I've been very critical, especially of Konate this season. And look, where are Liverpool going wrong every game? It's obvious. We're lacking intensity in the first half. Second half, once again, I thought we looked way better, but it's that lack of intensity, and it keeps killing us. What are we doing? Like, we just lack any sort of go forward, I think. Like, pressing. Where's the press? The press allows you, even if you get beaten a bit, it allows you to bring energy into the game. And that's what we saw in the second half. And I just think this is such a problem for Liverpool. There's no intensity in our play right now. And look, it continues to yield results like this because there's not enough intensity. You can't win every game in the second half. And look, we had a lot of the ball in the first half, in that sort of after that goal went in, but we're just moving it side to side. There's nothing really going on. It's not effective, and it just continues to cause us problems. There's just a lack of attacking movement and creativity, and I think part of the creativity problem is definitely Trent leaving, and I think this is definitely something that's gone under the radar. His creativity, but his also ability to get us out of trouble from fullback was brilliant. When we were struggling in these sort of games, he would just ping a ball out to someone. He would find Mo Salah, and that would get us going, but we just don't have that right now. And look, Florian Wirtz hasn't been as good as he needs to be, but there's no doubt that I think he would have helped with that in the first half, and I think it was the right call for him to come on. So yeah, we go into the break as usual. We look timid. We don't look like we're playing very well. And look, Slot makes the changes again, and we do look better in the second half. But something's got to change. We can't just be second half FC for the whole season. We can only play well for one half, and it continues to cause us problems. It's that simple. If we play well in the first half, we play shit in the second. If we play well in the second, we have to play shit in the first. We don't really get that two halves of football where I'm like, you know what, that is a great Liverpool performance. And it's not like we played like for example, Bournemouth, we should have been better. These sort of teams that we should be beating at home. Burnley away, we have to be better. It's it's not even just Chelsea that's causing us problems. It's lower league teams, and this is the problem. We're not going to win a Premier League if we're playing like this. Is it still possible? 100% it's still possible. I fully believe we can do it. It's just how we're playing right now isn't good enough, and there are questions about Slot, because you can praise him all you want for changing games, but why isn't it so good from the start? That's also his responsibility. Then looking at the Liverpool goal, it's a lovely bit of play by Alexander Isak to knock it down to Cody Gakpo, and he's done brilliantly. Was he intending to give it to Gakpo? Probably not. And would have I started Isak in this game? Yes, I still think I would have started Isak, but I would have played Hugo Ekitike. And I just think when Hugo Ekitike came on, we were a much better side. I think he had to start in that side, and that probably has something to do with the fact he started at Galatasaray away, and he maybe wasn't fully ready to go. But I definitely think Ekitike needs to be involved now in the starting 11 somehow. Alexander Isak I really like, but he's clearly not up to speed. So I'd either be dropping Gakpo or dropping Isak for now. And in saying this, I think I'm being a bit harsh on Gakpo, because the amount of times it's just like, just play the ball to Cody Gakpo. Our decision making was so poor. And look, Florian Wirtz I thought had an alright game. His touches once again were off. He had a great moment in the first minute. But it's that realisation that not every ball, and this applies to everyone actually, not every ball has to go into Mo Salah, because everyone marks Mo Salah. Everyone's more tight on Mo Salah. Play it out to Gakpo. the amount of times I'm like screaming like Gakpo's in huge space and we just never find him. It's getting really frustrating to watch actually, and it's really not good. Looking at Chelsea though, I thought Chelsea played really well. Like I've got to give them credit. I thought at points they were offered a little bit, but overall they played really well. And look, they didn't have any centre halves fit. They had 2 come off injured, and they still managed to find their way to win. So you've got to give massive credit to Chelsea, and I've been critical of them recently. And the substitution of Estêvão was brilliant. I think Estêvão should have started over Garnacho, and that's what I would have done. But Estêvão, when he came on, I thought was absolutely brilliant. He gave that electrifying pace. He does exactly what you want from your winger when he comes on. He created that lovely chance for Enzo Fernandez, and he really, for me, was the change that was needed. And look, is Robertson going sleeping at back post for his goal? Maybe. Maybe Robertson is actually going sleeping at back post. But I thought Robertson in general was good. And that continues to be a problem for Robbo. He's great going forward. He looks like a good player. He's playing well, I think. He's playing a lot better than last season. But he continues to have that problem of, will he go sleeping at back post? And I think he has once again. And look, this isn't the Liverpool performance that we're after, and we need to improve. Now let's go into the player ratings. Just before we get into the player ratings, I would just like to discuss the decision to bring on Wataru Endo. For me, it doesn't make any sense to bring on Wataru Endo in any case. First of all, I would have brought Chiesa on for Mo Salah or Cody Gakpo because I want to go for the win, and I don't think that was the right game to go for the draw considering how into it. And Endo just looked lost when he came on. It wasn't the sort of game which was suited to Wataru Endo. And if you're going to go a bit more defensive, then what you need to do, in my opinion, is you bring Gravenberch back into midfield, and then you just simply bring on Gomez, and you go Van Dijk and Gomez, because Gravenberch is better in the midfield. I'd rather have Gomez on the pitch in defence, and that sort of just gives you your solid back four, your midfield back to what it was, and that works. Or you can even bring Szoboszlai into midfield and put Frimpong at right back. So there's just so many better alternatives. And as well as this, I would have just brought off Salah because I thought he had a poor game, and I probably would have kept Gakpo on over Chiesa, but I assume he would have done Gakpo for Chiesa. But basically, for me, that just doesn't make any sense. So then these are the player ratings. So for Sanchez, I'd give him a 7. Reece James, I'd give an 8, as well as Achimpong. I thought they were superb. Achimpong obviously got injured, but I thought he was brilliant when he was on the pitch. Badiashile, I'll give a 6. Cucurella made that ball across for Estêvão, I'd give him a 7. Gusto. Now, I didn't expect Gusto to start in midfield, and I was really not expecting that at all. But I thought when he was in midfield, he was actually very good, considering he's playing out of position. I'll give him a 7. Caicedo, very good performance again. Obviously scored that absolute rocket. Just does what Caicedo does, right? And I'll give him an 8. Garnacho, I'm going to give him the lowest rating. I'm going to give him a 5. I thought he was really poor. He's too busy going down, in my opinion, going to the floor, and I thought he had a crap game. Enzo Fernandez, I'm just going to give a 6. I thought it was a solid performance. Pedro Neto, I thought I'll give him a 6. I thought he did all right at points. Not his best performance, but he got past Van Dijk once, and he looked like he was creating a couple of chances. João Pedro, not his greatest performance either. I'm going to give him a 5. He may also have an injury. We're not quite sure about that. And then the bench for Chelsea, I thought when Lavia came on, he was exceptionally good. I'm going to give him an 8. Joel Hato, I'm going to give him a 6, just a decent performance. Estêvão, I'm going to give him an 8 as well. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. In fact, I'm going to change that to a 9. I thought Estêvão was that good. By Jamie Barra-Gittins, I'm going to give it a 6. Definitely not as effective as Estêvão. Mark Gui, just a 6. I thought he was alright when he came on. Nothing special, nothing good. And just on Enzo Maresca's team selection, I think it was pretty good. As I said, my only criticism would have been starting Estêvão instead of Garnacho, but it ended up working out because Estêvão was absolutely brilliant, electrifying when he came on. And I was surprised to see Gusto in midfield. If Lavia was match fit, I 100% would have started Lavia over Gusto. That is the 2 changes I would have made to the 11. So here are the player ratings for Liverpool. Mamardashvili, I'm going to give him a 7. I don't think his playing up from the back was at his best, but we clearly haven't bought him in that way. I think people may give him a lower rating, but that is just purely off the fact that we've got Alisson in goal. I thought in general he actually had a very good game. Bradley Fork, I don't think he played very well, and there's a reason he had to be brought off. He just keeps getting booked as well, which is a real problem. Kanate, I mean, it wasn't his best game again, but it wasn't his worst actually. I'm going to give him a 6. I thought his defending was alright. It was his passing though that lets him down. Van Dijk, I thought was decent again. It's just Virgil van Dijk. like. He could have done better though on the Neto, so I'm actually only going to give him a 6. He could have done better when Neto squared it, and I think Konate had to clear it, so I'm only going to give him a 6. Milos Kerkez, I'm going to give him a 7. I understood why he got brought off, because he'd been just played 2 full 90s, and I actually thought he played quite well though today. Gravenberch, 7. Very good performance again. McAllister, I'm going to give him a 4. He's just not at it yet. It's clear. Soberslai, one of our better players once again. I'm going to give him an 8. He did go a bit missing at the back post right then when Fernandes should have scored to put Chelsea 2-1 up before. But I thought in general Soberslai played well. Cody Gakpo, I'm going to give him a 7. I just can't understand it. I think Gakpo could have had a 9 or a 10 if we just passed the ball to him more. Mo Salah, I'm going to give him a 4. I thought Mo Salah was crap. This really can't go on with Salah. Isak, I'm going to give Isak a 6. I thought he did really well for his assist, but the reason he doesn't get any higher is because when Hugo Ekitike came on, Liverpool was so much better, and I'm going to give Ekitike an 8. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. He did so well, and there's just not much more he could have done. Wirtz, I would give Florian Wirtz a 6. I thought parts of his play was good today. Actually, I'm going to drop that to a 5, but he just made too many mistakes on the ball. He also, decision making isn't there, and that is the key for Liverpool today. The overall decision making of the team wasn't good enough. Robertson, I'm going to give Andy Robertson a 6. Curtis Jones, I'm going to give Jones a 6. I like the Jones sub because for me that signals we're going to press high, and that is a good sign for Liverpool. Endo, I'm not going to rank him because he just played about a couple of minutes, and I didn't rate the sub, and for that reason, Slot's getting a 5, because I actually thought he almost got some of it quite right today, but his subs were poor, bring on Endo, and there's also, it's that lack of intensity, which is partly his fault, it's partly the player's fault, but it is also his fault how he's not getting this into. Let me know your thoughts on this game. Do you think Liverpool deserved anything from this? I think Chelsea weren't at the best, and maybe that's your argument, that Liverpool deserved a draw because Chelsea weren't much better. But at the end of the day, Liverpool weren't good enough, and Chelsea were slightly better than us, in my opinion. I also think that Chelsea just kept pushing for the win, and in fairness, we did too. But the issue is we were pushing for the win with not the attacking power of someone like a Federico Chiesa, who's brilliant in those last moments, and instead of Wataru Endo. For me, that's where we actually lost that game. I'm not completely blaming Slot for the defeat though, because we weren't good enough but at points in this game, but I do think that change really didn't put us anywhere and any hope of winning this game. Let me know your thoughts on this video. Did you enjoy it? Do you agree with my opinions? Let me know what you disagree with in the comments as well, and if you enjoyed this video, it'd be great if you could subscribe.